The first prediction for today is for the game between the Toronto Raptors and Atlanta Hawks. People, I've been waiting for this matchup. The Toronto Raptors roll into Atlanta riding that little 3-game heater, feeling themselves after torching Milwaukee. They've been moving the ball like a symphony, 30 assists a night, everyone getting touches, everyone smiling. Scotty Barnes is growing into that do-everything monster we've been talking about for 2 years. He's defending, he's shooting close to 50 from the floor, and he's got that quiet confidence of a guy who knows he's arrived. Add R.J. Barrett and Brandon Ingram doing work on the wings, and this Raptors squad looks legit on paper. But here's where things get interesting. Atlanta just showed everyone they can win without Trae Young. That win over the Magic wasn't just lucky, it was a statement. They played fast, aggressive, and unselfish basketball. Zachary Rizicher came out firing, and Jalen Johnson is turning into a matchup nightmare. The dude's averaging over 20 a night, cleaning the glass, and making the right reads. Porzingis has also quietly become the anchor inside, and his rim protection plus that smooth jumper give Atlanta spacing most teams can't handle. When the Hawks push the tempo, they're a nightmare in transition. They've got the shooters to stretch the floor and the length to switch defensively. What I like most is how this team looks connected. Even without their floor general, they're not hesitating. They're trusting each other, cutting harder, communicating on D, and that's a dangerous sign for a team finding its identity early in the season. Toronto's offense hums when they're hitting from deep, but their defense can still get exposed in rotations, especially against quick-passing teams like Atlanta. The Raptors' run has been built on momentum, but momentum can flip fast when you walk into State Farm Arena. The Hawks feed off that home crowd energy, and you can feel it. The noise, the confidence, the rhythm. This is where I think Atlanta's role players step up big. Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dyson Daniels bringing energy off the bench, Onyeka Okongwu battling inside, and Johnson leading the charge. I respect what Toronto's done lately, no question. They've found rhythm. They're sharing the ball, and they've proven they can hang with the best. But this feels like a letdown spot for them. First leg of a back-to-back, emotional highs from that Bucks win, and now walking into a building where Atlanta's been rock solid. So yeah, I'm rolling with the home squad here. I think Atlanta rides that confidence from the Magic game, pushes the pace early, and controls the glass. Without Trae, they're showing me they can still hoop with purpose and discipline. My gut says the Hawks come out hungry, keep the ball moving, and grind out a win behind Jalen Johnson's all-around effort and that collective energy that's starting to define this team. My prediction, Atlanta Hawks to win. The second prediction for today is for the game between Rockets and Spurs. Guys, this matchup has me fired up. The Rockets roll into San Antonio on a 5-game tear, playing with the kind of swagger that screams confidence. They've been torching teams lately, dropping over 120 points in 4 of their last 5, and doing it with balance. Kevin Durant's steadying presence, Sengun's all-around brilliance, and Amen Thompson's growth are giving Houston that perfect blend of veteran leadership and young firepower. They're not just winning, they're dictating pace, dominating the glass, and forcing opponents into ugly possessions. Now, don't sleep on the Spurs. They've been a pleasant surprise this season. Wembanyama is already a defensive menace, a shot-altering machine who makes every drive to the rim a calculated risk. Stephon Castle has stepped up big, and that young core is buying into Pop's system. But lately, that early season shine has faded a bit. Back-to-back losses, both on the road, exposed some cracks, especially in closing quarters. Against the Lakers, they let a double-digit lead evaporate, and that's something a team like Houston will absolutely feast on. What I love about this Rockets group is their adaptability. If Durant's jumper isn't falling, Sengun goes to work inside. If they get trapped, Thompson and Jabari Smith Jr. stretch the floor with confidence. And man, they've been lethal from deep, hovering near 43% from 3. Plus they crash the boards like madmen. Houston's offense isn't just explosive, it's structured chaos, the kind of rhythm that keeps defenses constantly guessing. For San Antonio, the key is tempo. If they can slow Houston down, get Wemby active in pick-and-roll defense, and make this a half-court grind, they've got a shot. But the problem? Houston's defense has quietly been top tier, too. They close out shooters fast and contest everything. When they smell blood, they don't let teams back in. At Frostbank Center, Emotions always run high between these two Texas rivals. The Spurs will come in with energy, no doubt, but I just don't see them matching Houston's momentum right now. The Rockets are rolling. Their chemistry is peaking early, and they've already proven they can win in tough environments. I've watched this Houston team find their groove fast, and I'm not stepping in front of that train. My money's on the Rockets to win and cover the 1.5-point spread. They're the hotter team, the more complete squad, and the one that's making a real statement in the West. The third prediction for today is for the game between Golden State and Denver. All right, Hoop fans, let's talk about this matchup between the Denver Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors. I've been watching both teams closely this season, and honestly, I think this one has statement game written all over it for Denver. The Nuggets are coming off a hot stretch, locked in at both ends of the floor. They've taken care of business at home, still undefeated at Ball Arena, and Nikola Jokic is doing what he does best, putting up video game numbers like it's just another day at the office. Against Miami, he dropped a ridiculous 33-15-16 triple-double, and before that against Sacramento, he was flirting with another one. The guy's reading defenses like a chess grandmaster, making everyone around him better, Gordon cutting strong, Murray knocking down shots, and even Christian Braun stepping into his role with confidence. Denver's offense is flowing beautifully. The ball movement, the spacing, the timing, it's all textbook basketball. You can tell this team is locked into its rhythm. They're averaging over 120 points a night and hitting shots efficiently, which tells me they're not just winning. They're controlling tempo and momentum. Now, on the other side, we've got the Warriors. And I'll say it straight, this team is in a tricky spot. They've dropped 3 of their last 4, and most of that damage has come on the road. They still shoot the ball well and move it around like a Steve Kerr coach team should, but without Steph Curry, they're a completely different squad. He's listed out again, and that's huge. Without him, the spacing collapses, and the offense loses that automatic threat that bends defenses. Jimmy Butler's situation doesn't make things easier either, and Draymond might be playing hurt. I respect what young guys like Kuminga and Moody have shown, but going into Denver shorthanded is a mountain no one really wants to climb. That altitude's no joke, and when the Nuggets smell blood, they bury you early. Let's not forget what happened in their first meeting. Golden State stole one in overtime, and you can bet the Nuggets haven't forgotten that. I can already picture Jokic leading the charge to settle that score. So, when I look at all that, the form, the health, the motivation, it's clear to me. I don't care if Curry suddenly decides to suit up. This is Denver's game to dominate. They've got revenge on their mind, the crowd behind them, and the best player on the planet orchestrating everything. My prediction, I'm rolling with the Denver Nuggets to win and cover the 8.5-point spread. They're simply the better team right now, and I expect this to be a double-digit blowout by the time the fourth quarter winds down. The fourth prediction for today is for the game between the OKC and Sacramento. All right, hoop heads, let's talk about this NBA Cup clash between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Sacramento Kings at the Golden One Center. The champs are coming off their first stumble of the season. That blown 22-point lead in Portland still stings. You don't often see a team like OKC take their foot off the gas like that, and I expect them to come out with serious focus tonight. But that's exactly why I see value in the Kings here. Sacramento has been trending upward lately. After a rocky start, they've looked more composed, beating Milwaukee, hanging tough in Denver, and taking down Golden State. That win over the Warriors told me a lot. They controlled the tempo, their offense clicked, and Westbrook and DeRozan looked sharp running the show. When Sacramento moves the ball and gets that spacing from Monk and Schroeder, they can light it up from deep. Yes, the Thunder are a juggernaut when everything's rolling. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is in pure takeover mode, averaging north of 30 a night, and Chet Holmgren's rim protection adds another layer to their defense. But OKC's been shaky against the number lately. They're just not that same spread-covering machine we saw last year, and their record in Sacramento is ugly. Only 2 wins in their last 9 trips here. This matchup feels trickier than the odds makers make it look. Sacramento always plays OKC tough, and they just lost to them by 6 a week ago on the road. At home, with the crowd behind them, they can absolutely keep this one tight. Still, everything depends on Sabonis. If he suits up, the Kings can control the paint, force OKC to shoot over the top, and make this a grind. Without him, It's tougher, but I still like the fight in this team. For me, this game comes down to effort and rhythm. OKC wants redemption, sure, but Sacramento's got the pieces to make them sweat till the final buzzer. My prediction, I'm riding with the Kings to cover the 12-point spread. I believe OKC wins the game, but Sacramento will make them earn every bucket. If Sabonis plays, this one could even go down to the wire, maybe overtime. But if he's out, I'd pass on betting it. But for now, my money is on the Kings to keep it close and cover that number.